In the last part of our trip to Southwest Florida, we had a beach day at Siesta Key, and then we headed into Sarasota. We decided that this was going to be our fancy night for the trip, so we packed up all of our camping gear, and we were staying at this rather nice hotel for the night. We went to downtown Sarasota to find a place to have dinner that night, and we went out for drinks and got to enjoy some of the locals dancing and having a good time. But then we got ready to go back to our camping and sleeping on the ground.
So don't let the weight of the world slow you down. And if you search for the meaning of life, it won't be found. So take your insecurities and leave them all behind. Let's learn to make the most of our time.
Early the next morning, we woke up to the sounds of the construction site outside of our window getting started as they were setting up the crane and starting to get back to work for the day. And it was a little earlier than we probably would have wanted to get up, but it was okay because we got our coffee and then headed down to the hot tub. So if we take a break during our camping trip and we decide to stay at a hotel, we pretty much always try to find somewhere that has a hot tub, because after nights of sleeping on the ground, it just feels amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
Having this construction site right outside of our hotel was strange, but also kind of awesome. Watching how they maneuver the crane and get things into these tight spaces was pretty impressive. So we got into the hot tub, and you can see we got a little bit of sunburn at the beach yesterday. It doesn't take much. Irish skin that's been indoors all winter, it doesn't take much. But we sat in the hot tub and just watched this strange entertainment of the crane. If you have a coffee maker in your room, you can actually really do a lot in terms of food. One of the things that I like to do for breakfast is just oatmeal, and we only have 2 packets left right now. So I'm just gonna throw the oatmeal in first. And hot water. You just have to make sure you take the coffee out before you do that. And then you can throw granola. I always grab some walnuts. I actually have coconut flakes in the car, which are really good. I just don't feel like I want to get them. And then if you have any fruit, like we got strawberries at the Amish market yesterday. And we have some bananas too, but they're also in the car. And then I like to put a little extra peanut butter in mine for some more protein. And then I'll put some strawberry jelly in Patrick's. Today was one of the days that we had no set plans. We like to do that sometimes, just leave a couple days where we're going to figure it out when we get there. And there's a ton of stuff to do in the Sarasota area. I mean, you could be entertained here easily for 2 weeks doing something different every single day. So we had to pick just one thing that we really wanted to do, and that was not easy.
I think that's our best bet if we're going in that direction. Yeah, so we just gotta figure out what time we're actually gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before
Sun.
5 at least.
Well, I'd like to see the gardens probably take us to, because I'm thinking it takes us 2 hours to get there anyway. we might as well almost.
We like do the gardens, stop at the park, do the bird walk thing,
Yeah.
and then keep going.
Yeah, and go to the campground, I guess.
Okay,
Does that sound right?
that sounds good. See what we do.
Well,
Cram in.
well, hotels tonight at Motel 6.
Oh God, I'm not staying in a motel. I will camp. I will not
Oh.
stay in a Motel 6. I'm not touching anything in that room.
I almost feel like now I'm one extreme or the other. I'm
Yeah.
Either like we're doing it, like we're getting a nice place,
Mhm.
or we're staying in a tent.
Yeah. We did our fancy night in Sarasota, and this is really a pretty neat area if you don't mind how busy it is. It's full of restaurants and museums and all sorts of stuff to do in this area. You can get a city pass if you're here for a few days, so you can hop around to a bunch of different attractions, which would be a great idea if we were staying here longer. But I think the one thing that we want to see are the botanical gardens. We go to botanical gardens in different places, but especially here in Florida, it's different plant varieties. It's going to be a lot more tropical, and they have like very rare orchids and things like that. So I think we're going to go to the botanical gardens, and then tonight was the second night that we didn't have anything booked. So we're going to kind of feel it out and figure out where we're going to sleep tonight.
The Marie Selby Gardens are located right on the water in downtown Sarasota. So it was just a couple of minutes drive from our hotel to get there, even with all of the lovely construction. But we figured since we were so close, this was one of the things that we wanted to see, but especially because they were having an exhibit where they were working together with the Salvador Dali Museum to bring in elements of Salvador Dali's artwork into the gardens, which just created this especially fun atmosphere. Working?
Yeah.
For Christmas this year, Patrick's parents gave us a camera stabilizer, and we think it may be because they were tired of watching our very shaky video footage when we were walking. But it's a great stabilizer, and this was the first time that Patrick actually got to use it and play around with it, so I hope you enjoy the very smooth footage that we got while we were exploring the gardens. Your visit starts with a quick video that introduces you to the history of the gardens. Marie Selby was born in West Virginia and then moved to Ohio, and when she got married, she and her husband came down to Florida and decided to buy 7 acres of land right on the waterfront. They were super adventurous. She was one of the first women to cross the country in an automobile when cars were much different than what they are today. But Marie loved the land so much, she put all of her time and effort into creating rose gardens and planting banyan trees and just taking meticulous care of this land.
It's the creeper section. It's the creeper.
Now, there are not normally eyeballs and cracked eggs and strange things like that around the gardens. This is all part of the Salvador Dali art installation. The gardens teamed up with the Dali Museum, which is located in St. Petersburg in Tampa. And they went through the gardens and put all of these little details around that you have to kind of look for that hint to the surreal artwork of Salvador Dali. Selby Gardens is known for their wide variety of exotic orchids and tropical plants, and this seems like the perfect combination with the surreal style of Salvador Dali combined with the very exotic, unusual look of the plants that you find here. Thanks for coming along on this trip with us. In the next episode, we have more to share from the gardens, and we head toward the central part of Florida to find a spot to camp tonight. So I hope you'll join us for the next episode as we continue our exploration of Southwest Florida.
You worried about you and me, the injustice, the next president to be, the news and what you hear, your career. It's time for you to face those fears, and it's all fair to be aware, and I'll be there. So don't be scared, just take a deep breath of air.